Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Chat. Today is May 24th, and I am Brian Mahler.
And I'm RJ Pomelo.
We've got a great show. We've got the Bruins in the playoffs, the Celtics out of the playoffs, the Red Sox above 500, and we talked to Bill Buckner.
Yeah.
But first...
Great show coming your way, but unfortunately we're going to start with some tragic news. The world has lost one of its great heroes this past week. Last Friday in the morning, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, passed away. So we thought we'd put together a little video tribute just to show him how much we care.
Gary, roll the tribute.
Oh, yeah.
All right, on to our local sports news. Well, first of all, the Bruins. We all know what the Bruins have been up to.
Yes, we do.
And it's all good stuff. All great stuff, actually. I'm super excited, you're super excited, and so are all the hockey fans in Boston.
Yep.
And last night, a step closer. After a 2-1 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning last night, the Bruins are now one win away from the Stanley Cup Finals. Kind of just gives you chills, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I've got goosebumps right now.
Oh, man, I know. And that's the closest they've been since they swept the Washington Capitals back in 1990 in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Wow.
All right, now, the story from last game was definitely, once again, Tim Thomas.
Yes, it was.
He was like a brick wall in front of that net, as he's been basically all playoffs.
Made one of the greatest saves I've ever seen.
He made 33 consecutive saves
Yep.
after he let up the first goal to Simon Gagne.
Yep.
But the most dazzling, the most beautiful save that I may have ever seen was a diving stick save that robbed Steve Downey and preserved the one-goal lead.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge. It was unbelievable. It was amazing. And after the game, Lightning coach Guy Boucher called Thomas a miracle worker and that he's just making miracle saves.
It literally saved the game.
Yeah.
If not for that save, who knows?
Exactly.
Amazing.
It was definitely unbelievable. I mean, the series has been unbelievable. There's been, in the first two games, there were 18 goals scored combined.
Yeah.
And it's just been unreal. Tyler Seguin finally made an appearance in the playoffs, and he made quite an appearance in the playoffs. He had 3 goals and 3 assists in his first ever 2 playoff games, first ever in his career.
Yeah.
And he had 3 goals and 3 assists. It's unbelievable. You can't even write it.
It's unreal.
Bergeron came back.
Yep.
Looked great.
Looked like he had never gone away.
And Tim Thomas, he's had decent success against the three-headed monster of St. Louis, Le Cavalier, and Steve Stamkos. But, you know, one problem, Boston's power play still can't score.
Yeah, still can't score at all.
Yeah.
And somehow they're still winning. It doesn't make sense to any analyst. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to you. And I have to believe it doesn't make sense to the Boston Bruins. They have no idea what they're doing on the ice during the power play. No idea at all.
Nope.
They look like They don't know how to play hockey. They don't put the puck on the net. They don't make the right passes. They do pass, but not always the right passes. They have trouble keeping the puck in the offensive zone on the power play. They have scored in a whopping 7.6% of their power plays this postseason.
Yep.
Huge number.
That's
7.6.
I call that tremendous.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But, you know, I'm not going to complain because they're, like we said, one game away from the Stanley Cup Finals.
I'm not going to complain yet, but you have to believe that at some point this is going to come back and bite them. I mean,
well, we're gonna hope it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or anything, but I don't think you can win a Stanley Cup if your power play is that god awful.
Or they're gonna set some sort of crazy record.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
But we all hope you're wrong.
Yeah, well,
I certainly do.
And we all hope that they fix it soon, please.
All right, well, we'll get off that. We're
Yeah.
going to get back to it a little later in a little more detail because I know that Thomas Caberlet's been coming under fire, so we'll talk about that a little later. And the arrival of Tyler Seguin.
Yeah. For now, though, we're going to move on to a little bit of Celtics news. Not the greatest news, but we do have to cover it because we haven't yet.
Yeah.
So we'll move on. The Celtics, unfortunately, couldn't beat the Heat. In 5 games, they lost 4-1 in the series against the Heat, got knocked out of the playoffs. Didn't look good at all. Looked like they were old, looked like they were slow, looked like they just weren't as good as the Heat, which really, really hurts to say, but it is the truth.
Yeah.
So it's our job to say it.
Yeah, looks like the window on the big three may be closed.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. I mean,
it's tough.
You can't imagine that the big three really have any opportunity left, but you never know. But strange news, good news, but strange news. Shortly after the Celtics were knocked out of the playoffs and everyone believed that Doc Rivers was done coaching the Celtics, a few days later, he signed a 5-year contract for $35 million with the Celtics. Why?
Go figure.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea why.
I mean, everyone really thought that he was done. They thought after last year he was done.
Yeah.
And this year he came back, you know, one more hurrah with the big three, you know, the last fight the good fight, win one for the Gipper.
Right.
And they came up short.
Yeah, and you would assume that he would see the window of the big three closing and he would, you know, take his cards and go home.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a puzzling question to try and figure out why he decided to come back.
And although my knowledge may not be able to answer that question,
Right.
I think with a little help from the Celtics crown of knowledge, I may be able to answer this puzzle.
Excuse me? Okay, was that there the entire time?
Whew. As it turns out, Doc Rivers is not at all concerned with the Big Three era ending.
Okay, that is clearly
It turns out that he is extremely excited about the Troy Murphy era beginning in Boston.
Oh yeah, Troy Murphy, who didn't...
He believes Troy Murphy will bring the Boston Celtics to the pinnacle of basketball superstardom over the next few seasons.
Really? Troy Murphy
He
of all...
says that if Troy Murphy had played in the playoffs this year, the Boston Celtics would have won the 18th championship for the franchise.
Okay, so
It was
really...
a complete waste, according to Doc Rivers, to have people like Kevin Garnett and Rajon Rondo on the floor, with a great talent like Troy Murphy wasting away on the Celtics bench.
Yeah, he was wasting
So
away.
Doc says, give him a 5-year contract and give him Troy Murphy, and he'll give us 5 more championships.
Okay, there's definitely no way that...
That is all for the Celtics crown of knowledge for today. Whew. Oh, that thing's a trip.
Yeah, real trip.
Did I say anything intelligent?
No, not at all, actually.
Same old.
Yeah. Right, so that was strange and weird. But moving on, let's get into the Red Sox, who are finally... I mean, it feels like we've been wasting so much time talking about how close they've been to 500. Finally, they did it.
And it's a great feeling.
They finally got above 500. And how did they do it? Well, they did it with hitting, really. In the month of May, they've been just ripping the cover off the ball. They have a 290 average, which leads the majors in May, and 104 runs scored. And it's really been the 3-4-5 hitters, Gonzalez, Youkilis, and Ortiz, that have stepped up, and they've been brilliant. They've looked great.
I mean, take a look at their last 10 games. Pitching's been good. Pitching hasn't been amazing. It's been good, but they're 8-2 in the last 10.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
It's certainly going the right way.
Right.
This is what we expected to see from this lineup.
They're half a game out of first place in the East, and
I mean that's
have to assume they're on their way up.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good thing. I mean,
that's a great thing.
The Yankees have been sliding a little bit,
Yep.
and Tampa Bay, of course, they're in first place. But I mean, they're close.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to get this close.
No, neither did I, especially
soon.
Especially with the injuries that the pitching staff has been seeing lately.
Yeah.
With Dice K out and then John Lackey with the personal issues. And they're just kind of piecing stuff together and depending on the bats to get them through, which, I mean, if you think about it, is kind of what we expected from them at the beginning of the season. With the lineup they had, we expected them to come out and just put balls out of the park and have outstanding batting averages.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's getting to be where we thought it would be.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great because this is exactly what we wanted. This is what Red Sox fans were waiting for, and everyone was just kind of knocked off their heels at the start when they opened the gate, started it so badly out of the gate, and now finally getting on a roll, getting things together, 8 of the last 10, like you said, and finally above 500, and they can get all that talk out of their minds, behind them, and just keep moving forward, win more baseball games, and hopefully jump over and leapfrog the Yankees in Tampa Bay and get into first place.
Great news for everybody. I mean, whether the Bruins end this week, God forbid, or they end a week and a half from now, which would be much better.
That'd be great.
It's going to give us something great to look forward to once hockey season's over.
Yeah.
Not that hockey season isn't great in itself right now, but the Red Sox are on the horizon, and that's a great thing. That's
always good news.
Yeah.
But with a little more baseball, why don't you tell us about what what happened?
This week, we sent our second best field reporter out to Campanelli Stadium.
I believe he's the best field reporter.
Not according to the statistics I was shown.
I believe he is.
Anyway, he went out to Campanelli Stadium and talked to the new manager of the Brockton Rocks, and guess who that is?
I don't know. Who?
Take a guess.
Tommy Lasorda.
Yes.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Bill Buckner is the new manager of the Brockton Rocks, and our second best field reporter went out to have a chat with him and talk to the team and see what this season holds. So here we go.
This is my first time that I play with somebody, like be a manager playing the big. So I can't wait the season to start. I want to learn from him more.
I'm going to make a black joke.
It's a lot more, the managing part's a lot more responsibility. But I'm looking forward to it. I always wanted to give it a shot. They know that I've been there, and the fact that I'm out here grinding it out with them, I think says something that I care about them.
Despite the weather keeping the Rocks off the practice field today, summer days are coming, and so is another season of Brockton Rocks baseball. The 2011 campaign brings a new manager and new buzz surrounding the team. So why should you come out and see the Rocks this year? Well, here's one great reason.
To see us win the championship.
Yeah, he was the best field reporter.
Second best, absolutely. And he was very, very dark.
But still the best.
No, he did. He did a good job. Didn't let that ball roll through his legs or anything.